What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Two Knicks Chicks. I'm your girl, Lady, and the Chef, joined by my co-host.
Diva Locks 21. What's up?
It's Thursday. The Knicks are on to a starting a back-to-back series. So tonight they play Detroit. That game should be starting shortly. And Detroit's been playing quite awful. They can't seem to get a win this season. I think Detroit has only won three games so far this season. Excuse me, two. So they're
Two.
2-16. The Knicks are 10-7. The Knicks is currently sitting at fifth in the Eastern Conference. And then tomorrow the Knicks play Toronto. They'll be playing the Raptors. And that's going to be an interesting game because while Toronto, I think they're sitting at 10th or 11th in the Eastern Conference, they haven't been playing well so far this season. But I know that Toronto seems to give the Knicks problems when we play them. The Knicks can't seem to. The Knicks seem to struggle against Toronto, which is kind of crazy. But especially when we play with Siakam, he seems to have his way against the Knicks, and he'll drop 40, 50 points against them. And I can never put my finger on that because I'm like, Mitch is definitely stronger than this guy, but somehow I think it's just because he's a lot more mobile. He's able to have his way, and he has more of an offensive presence. Um, but let's dive into the Knicks playing against Detroit first. So with Detroit, they currently have basically Cade Cunningham, who's averaging, I believe he's averaging, I wrote it down. He's averaging 21.8 points per game, and Jalen Duren is averaging 10.8 rebounds per game. Besides those two, I mean, you have the one of the twins who's playing okay. Um, do you think the Knicks have any concerns or worries going into this game? I mean, I know the Knicks shouldn't sleep on them just because they haven't won a game. Detroit just lost yesterday to the Lakers. But do the Knicks need to lock in on these guys, or do you think that the Knicks could pull off an easy win tonight?
Well, both. Well, really, all three. There's always a concern, regardless who you play. You know, teams that could be the surprise win. Um, but as far as just locking in, they are. I can't say guaranteed. Nothing's guaranteed, but they should have this one in the bag. Let's face it, the Knicks has beat Detroit 12 times thus far.
Right.
Um, and the Pistons, they're on like that 15 game losing streak. And they haven't salute and they haven't beaten once the Knicks beaten the Knicks since 2019. So that's on their favor, but it should be, I don't want to say easy win, but it should be a win. But again, you got guys that, like the twin, he's averaging almost a double in rebounds and in point. So, things like that, you gotta just be locked in and don't sleep on nobody for the most part.
Yeah, I agree. I think that the Knicks, they need to come out with a good pace in this
Oh, for
game.
sure.
I think the Knicks need to look to run against Detroit tonight and look to really capitalize. And, you know, I don't think the Knicks should play lax. I think the Knicks need to come out with high energy that quickly gives you, and
Yeah.
look to dominate on the boards, dominate in the paint, and dominate just in general, even if they can with the three pointers, just to kind of get a wide open lead against these guys. Um, some things that I had saw when I was doing my research before tonight's game, the Knicks are 5-0 when scoring more than 118 points a game. The Knicks are averaging 8.6 fewer points per game than the Pistons allow, which is 118, which is what um, the Knicks are 5-0. Um, and the Knicks have an 8-3 record when its opponents score fewer than 109 points. So in this season, the Knicks have been shooting 44% from the field, which is a little lower than last year. Excuse me, a lot lower than 47.5% of shots that the Pistons opponents have knocked down. So, and the New York Knicks are 6-0 when they shoot higher than 47.5% from the field. So, I think that the Knicks need to definitely take advantage. Also, the Knicks are home. So take
Yeah,
advantage of the fact of being home, win the game
yeah.
at home, get your wins at home. Um, are there any guys in particular on the Knicks, if the Knicks, especially if they're able to get a nice lead, are you looking for any guys who, may be able to come in the game and kind of step up tonight and show us a little bit of what they can do if the Knicks are able to at least get a comfortable, I would even say if they can get a comfortable 25, 30 point lead and the late in the third if Tibbs can sub out some guys. Are you looking for anybody in particular who could come in and show you something that we haven't seen yet or step up?
Not so much as we haven't seen, but Josh Hart, that was a good game he played, and I think he's kind of getting in his head, because of how he's feeling, and he doesn't feel like he said he's a rhythm shooter, and then all the offense, he doesn't feel like he belongs. So I'm hoping, he don't get too, deep in thought in his head. I'm hoping he could just, you know, um, uh, piggyback where where he left off at, and definitely have a monster game. Um, you know, and for the most part, I know Quickly's gonna do, what he do. We know what we're gonna get from Brunson. But for the most part, I just want Josh Hart to just, pick up, where he left off at, and just be yourself.
I remember early on you were saying that I think you were saying you read it that Josh Hart was saying it was fatigue because he had the twins, then he went and
Hmm.
played in FIBA, and then the next season just recently started. Do you think that was part of it, or do you think it was a combination of fatigue and then Josh Hart just not starting off well as he did when he came on the team last year?
I think it's more so fatiguing, and like he said he's not one of those type of guys that's just gonna just touch the ball and shoot. He said he has to, like, quote unquote, without, I'm not quoting him verbatim, but he has to have a feel for the game. He's not one of those spot up type of guys. He said I'm more into a rhythm guy. I have to feel, so I think it's just that, and just again could be the fever just playing over the summer, twins, and I, just that could be it. And I'm hoping that's just it. He could definitely, don't overthink it.
Yeah, I think that I've said this a few times with Josh Hart. To me, he just hasn't come out with the same energy that he did last year when he was playing for the Knicks, last season rather. I don't know. I just felt like I didn't really see anything. I haven't seen anything yet from him besides the last game when he dropped 17. And I think he had one other good game so far this season. But for
Hmm.
me, I just feel like, one of the things I kept saying to myself, I was like, where's Josh Hart? I just felt like he wasn't showing up. And it wasn't even so much that he was playing bad, he just wasn't doing anything. It was just like, a slight effort on his end, but it wasn't the Josh Hart we were used to seeing where he was diving for balls and doing the other little things and hustling up and down the court and diving in for rebounds and steals and going in the stands to get, balls or whatever. So I hope that he gets back to that. And I think that Josh Hart has been in the league long enough that you should be able to read the game and know where you stand in your role on the team because you had no problem doing that last season. And he proved the last game that you were able to come in, fit yourself in the offense, and drop 17 points.
Yeah.
and I think he had 10 boards. So, I feel like, again, I saw people in the chat yesterday. Shout out to Steph, BX Chris, and Ebony. I was on their women's panel for Dope Soul Sports Talk, and I saw some people in the comments was in the chat was saying how, um, oh, I clearly don't like Randall. And I was being hard on Grimes because we spoke about Grimes and we were speaking about the whole Grimes and DiVincenzo minutes shared. And you and I have been saying we're gonna keep our eyes out on the minutes of Dante DiVincenzo and Grimes. But the reason why I feel like that is because and Ebony was like both Mitch's attorney and Grimes' attorney. I think she's cousins with Grimes at this rate because she was sticking up for Grimes like that was her cousin or her brother, and I was
Ebony
just like,
is Team Mitch
yeah,
all
her
day.
her and Jeff Clafter are both Team Mitch. But I feel like while I hear people, and I agree, Grimes has only been in the league for 2 years now, and he's right where he should be. I think the frustration, like what a lot of other true Nick fans come from, is that Grimes shouldn't be starting on the Knicks. And I don't think that's Grimes' position. Unfortunately, it's not necessarily his fault because that's where Tibbs has placed him in the lineup, and Tibbs wants him out there for his defensive efforts and prowls. But I just
Yeah.
thought, for me, I think Grimes should be coming off the bench. But unfortunately, we don't have anyone else as an option to have in the game with the starting five and have Grimes coming off the bench. But I also the reason why I'm so hard on my critique with Grimes is because I brought it up how you uh told me to stat how he's only been to the free throw line once so far.
Yeah.
So that tells me he also needs to work on his game. You have to bring more than just a 3-point shot. You can't just be a three. You're not Ray Allen. You're not Novak. You're not going to just knock down popping threes left and right, Steph Curry style. That's not your game yet. I'm not saying that he can't get there, but that's not your game. So I think also, and Ebony brought this up, that she doesn't see a lot of Knicks players cutting to the basket. And the Knicks, unfortunately, don't play that style of basketball. And one of the things I was mentioning was I think that's because that's not Tibbs' style of coaching. Tibbs has an older style of coaching where he
Yeah.
doesn't implement that and push for guys to be cut into the basket. Because if the Knicks did cut, they would be a lot more successful in scoring. But I think with Grimes, I get so hard on him too, is because I'm one of those Knicks fans and a typical New Yorker. We don't have any patience, but we've held on to patience for very long with the Knicks. And a lot of us are at our wits' end where we're like, we waited long enough. There's no more time to try to rebuild and do this. It's we at the point where it's like get the right guys in place and let's execute from there as a team. So I don't know how you feel about the whole Grimes situation and Grimes coming in. I get people saying, "Oh, you need your typical guys from the bench." You know how I feel. I don't feel like the Knicks have a true solid bench, minus Quickly, who's been consistent in my eyes. But I just feel like, Grimes isn't it. And I would like Grimes if we had a better superstar option or a better playing guy and Grimes coming off the bench.
I mean, Grimes, being that he's only been in the league for 2 years, so this is like a development stage. If you were patient with RJ, that's why I'm gonna like get up the Grimes thing. Then be patient with Grimes. His game will come. Yeah, we need offense now. What was we was being real about Grimes? Yeah. Um, I feel he will he's like in a development stage, and and for whatever reason Tibbs have him in there for defensive purposes, and I don't think he should be starting. He is a role player, just so I think they need to fill that spot and
Yeah.
let him come off the bench, and he could still develop off the bench. So that's my take with Grimes, but it's a development, hopefully, and his game will come. But being a starter, I don't think that that's the the way to go. But again, that's beyond our control. That's a uh front office. That's a coach's decision. So right now, we just gotta just live with it. So
I agree with you with the whole we were patient with RJ, but I think they were drafted very differently.
oh
And
yeah,
I
for
think the
sure.
expectations for RJ was a lot higher and people were a
Yeah.
lot harder on RJ than they are in Grimes. I just think that it gets frustrating seeing Grimes in a lineup and you're getting 3 points a game, maybe 6 points if you're lucky, and the
Mhm,
guy doesn't even
mhm.
drive and can't get contact and get to the free throw line. Um, so that's my issues with him. But speaking of the whole getting guys in the front office having to make moves, um, it's 2.5 months until the February trade deadline. And I did read that the Knicks are going to try their hand again at trying to get Donovan Mitchell and getting him at a lower price than the Cavs signed him to. He didn't sign an extension with them. So, he wants to come to New York so bad. He was at them Liberty games like he had ownership stake with the New York Liberty. I was going to look it up. I said, does he own a part of the Liberty? Because the way he was at the games, I don't know. He was just like, "Hey, I'm here." You remember when Randall was like, "New York, we here." That was that was Donovan Mitchell trying to prove that I don't know. We get it, my guy. You want to come here, but should the Knicks look to trade for Donovan Mitchell?
Me personally, no. I'm
Agreed.
just no. Plain and simple. For who? And then who? Oh wow, Randall starting off bad. Oh gee. I don't think so. I mean, if you could give up Fournier, um, definitely get rid of him. Throw in Grimes, as far as I'm concerned. And if you could do that and some picks, then yeah. But otherwise than that, um, I'm cool with what we have. It's still early, but that's that trade deadline. Right now, no.
Yeah, I don't see a fit for Donovan because you already have. See, and it's kind of tricky because a part of me wants to be like, oh, but he could be a backup to Brunson. But I feel like with their style of play, it just wouldn't work because you would have to have one on the A starting squad, which would be Brunson. He got there first, and then Donovan on the B, which would work. But I just don't see that working. I feel like we already have that. And to me, I thought the Knicks did a, to me, in my opinion, that was a better choice than signing Brunson than Donovan Mitchell. I don't know. I just feel like I, I just I just feel like it was a better look for the Knicks overall, getting Jalen Brunson, and you got him at a steal of a price.
Yeah, yeah.
So I just I don't see it with the whole Donovan Mitchell. But I was gonna ask you, do you think the Knicks front office feel like RJ would be better without Randall, or has RJ reached his ceiling and the Knicks will look at other potential trades?
I don't think he's reached his ceiling for definitely not. I mean, he's a what? This is fifth year. There's more. There's a lot of upsides to his game. Um, I don't think so. He RJ has to. I guess we need more consistency from him.
Mhm.
As far as just like the points, you know, I hope they keep him because he's an asset. He's not a liability. He's definitely an asset. They just gotta you know learn to play together. If all three of them could be having a fabulous, a great night, without one of them falling back. That's asinine. If you having a great night, then go for it. If you got the hot hand, go for it. But no, I don't. I They could play together. I don't know. That's my take on it.
Yeah, I think that's the key is that some nights you'll have Randall and Brunson playing well and RJ. doesn't have a great game.
Yeah,
And then some nights it's RJ and Brunson playing well. Randall don't have a good night, and then there's nights when RJ and Randall's playing well and Brunson is having an off game. And I know that players naturally are not going to play well every game, but I agree with you. I would like to see more games where you have all three of them playing well and executing in each game and giving us what we need to get that win. Speaking of executing, the Knicks are in the quarterfinals. They play against Milwaukee December 5th at 7:30. Um, that game for me, that's where you need all three guys to step up and then some.
to be locked in.
I don't think it's just gonna take Randall, Brunson, and RJ. I think it's also gonna take contributions from Mitch being aggressive on the boards, and holding Giannis and Brooke Lopez. I think it's going to take Randall helping out on the boards. I think it's going to take guys like Hart helping out and grabbing boards.
Yeah, for
Um,
sure.
and I think it's going to take Quickly stepping up and helping out and contributing. Hart stepping up and contributing. Um, do you think that someone like DiVincenzo also needs to contribute towards that game to help them out if he gets in? Well, he's getting the time, the playing minutes. And the thing is, if you
Hmm.
think about it, Quickly is not playing as many minutes this season, but he's still getting the job done. So that
Exactly.
tells me, I saw someone was like, "Oh, DiVincenzo sucks." I'm like, I don't think that he sucks. I just think that Tibbs isn't utilizing him properly on the team the way he should be. Just like Obi wasn't utilized uh,
Yeah,
right on the Knicks. So do you think that because I've seen his plays, DiVincenzo, and what he can do, do you think that DiVincenzo needs to also apply pressure and step up in that game against Milwaukee for the Knicks to get that win?
for sure. You're gonna need all hands on deck. As far as I'm concerned, uh, yeah, we're gonna need a contribution from him. Our role players. That's that second unit. You're gonna definitely need that spark from them, and to give us that push. So yeah, I think everybody needs to and help out. And this is no time for nobody to fall back and be like Clash lackadaisical. No, just get out and run. And you could beat Milwaukee. They these are the teams that you got to beat. Those 500 teams, and that, you
Mhm.
you want to advance. You believe it or not, they said the odds for the Knicks to win is like, I think, plus 1400. So I mean, you could beat Milwaukee. You just gotta don't again play your style,
Yeah,
of game. Don't fall into Milwaukee's. They like to run and gun, and you gotta guard the perimeter. Brook Lopez can hit the three. He can hit them.
and you gotta watch
So
Dame because he can pull the
exactly.
trigger from so far, like Steph Curry. I think that's the key too. Like when the Knicks do play these better teams, the Knicks have to learn how to. And I keep saying this, and I sound like a broken record, but it's true. The Knicks have to learn how to be able to keep a lead and maintain that lead in the fourth quarters when it gets down to the wire and not
Hmm.
allowing trading baskets to happen. Because then what happens is the Knicks are only up by three. And now they're looking to give the ball to like a Dame Lillard or Giannis to try to go in and get that easy bucket, or Brooke Lopez or Giannis get the ball and then, throw the ball out to Brooke in the corner and shoot that three. And then this is what happens. Then we go to overtime, and now you made things harder for yourself because you guys should have just finished the game off right.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
A-
go ahead.
And the Knicks gotta play to their strengths. I mean, Randall and Mitch are the top, two rebounding
Yeah,
dynamic dudes. So you have to play to your strength. You're a good rebounding, collectively. So that's what you gotta play to your strength.
yeah. Knicks are nice that Jalen Brunson is going off right now.
Oh,
So
get
the
out of
score
here.
is 15-21. 3 minutes and 24 seconds left in the first quarter. Um, yeah, Jalen Brunson must be going off. Let me see. I'm not even surprised. He already got 12 points. He carrying the team. RJ Barrett has 3 points. Julius Randle has three. Um, yeah. But we talked about the Knicks playing pretty much Detroit. So yeah, tonight I got the Knicks winning. I have the Knicks also winning against Toronto tomorrow. Um, what are you looking forward to for tomorrow's game as well?
Well, they definitely got whole spicy P. Pascal. You know, they definitely got to, watch him. He's again, like he's lucid.
Right,
He could be crafty. And, Scotty, he's up there, as far as rebound. He's almost averaging a double.
right,
And then you got Dennis Schroeder. He's their point guard, and he was thrown away from the Lakers, but he seemed like he's resurrected, his career. And just their like their role players as well. I mean their depth is not as potent as ours, but again, it's anybody's game, and you don't want to just you know count nobody out or sleep on them. And they they're streaky as far as their wins. They win two, lose two,
hmm I was
win
just going
two.
to bring
So
that up.
they're streaky as far as their wins. But they have beaten over 500 teams.
Yeah,
These are the teams that the Knicks should be beating. They've beaten the Suns, the Mavericks, the Bucks. And these are teams that the Knicks should be, beating, with the exception of the Wizards and the Pistons, they've beaten those 500 teams. Um, so again, we gotta, the Knicks gotta capitalize off of them, play off their strength.
yeah. The Toronto actually won yesterday. They played. Um,
The
they
Suns.
actually played a back to back. They played Brooklyn on Tuesday. They did lose that game 103-105. And then they played yesterday against Phoenix and beat them 105-112. So they're pretty much having like a few games this week where they're playing back to back and then they play us tomorrow. So they're Toronto's not a crappy team. I mean, and a lot of
No,
the games I'm looking at, they're not getting blown out.
no,
The
they're
games
not.
are pretty close. They are sitting at 10th in the Eastern Conference. They're 9-10. But they're going to try to crawl their way back into get into above 500. They're a very talented team, and I agree. They're one of those teams that you can't sleep on them. I think if anything, even more than Detroit because they have the talent there. I mean, Barnes is great. OG Ananobi's really good. Siakam is really good. So, I think the Knicks are definitely going to have to apply pressure, play smart, play hard, but play smart. The defense is going to have to be there. Mitch is going to have to put a body and guard Siakam. I would like to see Mitch denying the ball more to certain guys down low, those five center players when they are down in the paint and
Yeah,
try not to allow them to get the ball so many touches as much. But yeah, we'll see what happens with that. But as far as tonight with the Knicks, I think Mitch should have his way against Jalen Duran.
oh for sure.
I don't even know is Ivy playing tonight. I know
I
this the
think he
twin
is.
Asar Thompson is gonna play. And so far Cade is leading with scoring. He has 9 points already. So Yeah, we'll see. The Knicks is up 15-24, 2 minutes and 34 seconds left of the game. Um, yeah, this should both of these games back to back should be easy wins for the Knicks. There's no reason why the Knicks should be struggling and not be. Oh, Ivy is out. Okay. I was wondering that because I was like, I feel like, okay,
Yeah,
so
and
Ivy
and
is out.
and the other guy, what's that, Bogdanovich or something? He was supposed to be making his season debut. He's out
He's supposed to be making his season debut with who?
with the Pistons, but he's I think he's gonna play start with them Saturday. He's
Mm,
supposed to have been playing tonight, but he was questionable.
yeah, the Knicks have a lot of questionable things and players. Like Fournier, who we just can't seem to get rid of yet, which is crazy to me. Um, but yeah, this was a short one because we want to be able to go watch the game. But we'll be back with post game coverage. You have anything else before we get out of here?
Now you know my mantra. Let's go Knicks. They up 17-27, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah.
applied
And I
that
think
pressure.
it's important that the Knicks maintain be the score more points each quarter. I think that's going to be important in this game because you don't want Detroit to feel like they can get within reach. And it's important that in the third quarter, the
Yep.
Knicks come out strong this game and like just extend that lead and just run. So I want to be able to see the Knicks really go on a nice run. Oh, you wanted to see, but
Yeah.
yeah, I mean he is a good player. I would have rather had him than Fournier. I just feel like his shot is definitely there, and he's averaging way more points than Fournier. So, but yeah, Knicks are up. We got the Knicks winning. Yeah, so we'll be coming back with some more post game coverage, and then um hitting you guys with some more details before Toronto. Um, hopefully
FY
they,
Brunson got 16 already.
yeah. What you got, Brunson scoring? What's his game high tonight?
Whoa. I'm gonna go for just I'll do 35, 40 between 30.
Yeah,
Hey.
I got him scoring 38 tonight.
Okay,
I
yeah, I
was
was
gonna
gonna
say
do 40.
35, but I'm gonna say 38. I'll say you got him at 40.
Yeah.
Okay, okay, yeah, I got it. What about Randall?
Randa, I got him at about 22, hopefully a double double.
Yeah, I definitely would like to see Randall getting a double double tonight.
Yeah, he got
Randall
six
already
boards.
has, yeah, he got 6 boards, 8 points. So RJ, I want to see RJ, and quickly do their thing also. Quickly already has 3 points. Same thing with RJ. Both have three. Surprisingly, Mitch only has one rebound so far. Randall's been so far dominating the boards. And I see people saying they want to see Jacob Toppin play. You think Jacob Toppin's gonna get burned?
He should. This will be a nice game for him to get in. He was killing in the G League, so let's see what he could do. He was dominating in the G League, so
Yeah, people. I notice when players do well in the G League, they just don't get any burn in when they get to the actual Knicks. Like I don't know. I guess shout out to Eddie. He always leaving comments on our channel. Salute Eddie.
should put them
Put
away
them
by
away
halftime.
by halftime. Yeah, the Knicks should put them away by halftime. And the key is can the Knicks maintain keeping them away and blow them out? That's the key. The Knicks could get up by 20 by halftime, but are they going to maintain that or they're going to allow, that lead to go down to 13, 14 points?
because we know what they seem to fall flat in that third quarter.
Right. Yeah, this is not a game for that for them to do that though. Yeah, Brunson's on fire. What is it, 17-31? End of the first.
Yep.
So yeah, he's already at 16 points. I don't think there's anyone really on Detroit who can guard Jalen Brunson. Randall already has 6 boards, 9 points. So yeah, I mean, this is also a game, like I said, I think RJ, people are still on RJ's toes. They'd want to see if RJ is he slipping back into old territory, or is RJ going to be able to show what he's been doing and keep up what he's been doing even after those migraines. So I know a few people said, "Oh, RJ seems like he's slipping back into old territory," and but I don't think so. I think RJ just, he'll snap out of it and get back to that what we were seeing so far at the start of this season. But I'm definitely looking forward to seeing Josh Hart have a pretty good game today. I want to see a lot of easy baskets for the Knicks and seeing guys run up and down the floor and just get easy layups. Don't settle for the threes. Just put a lot of points on the board and just put these guys away early.
They got the game one.
This is a test of our killer instincts. We must rest starters by the fourth quarter. Yeah. But is Tibbs really going to rest the starters?
And if we're up, we should. But
But Tibbs don't he like to keep them into like the last, 3-4 minutes and then he sits them down. Tibbs
and then
don't
plus,
really sit the
yeah,
starters down.
and then you got that in season tournament that's coming up. So you definitely want to try to rest your starters. So that's something to think about.
Yeah. Yeah, hopefully Tibbs do sit the guys down. I would like to see them at least sit down at least with like 6 minutes left and then have, guys
Hmm.
like Jacob Toppin, Deuce come in the game and, do their thing. You know when Deuce come in, Deuce gonna have at least 5 points tonight. He coming and chucking up a shot as soon as he touched the hardwood. Toronto will be a test of our capabilities. Yeah. And a test of the Knicks defense also. I think Toronto is a good test, a pre-test before Milwaukee to kind of let the Knicks see, okay, because Toronto's going to run. So I
Oh,
think
for
the
sure.
Knicks need to be ready to defend Toronto and, you know, let it be like a pre-run to get ready to play Milwaukee. So yeah, definitely, Eddie. I think Toronto will be a test. But yeah, second quarter already started. We are gonna get out of here, everybody. Shout out to the chat. Nick's a nice, Eddie Kofi, Shy Powers, everyone else that tapped in. We appreciate you. Those who's gonna watch on the replay. Um, and we appreciate everybody showing love, subscribing to the channel, leaving us comments, hitting the like button. Hit the like button before y'all get out of here. We'll be back because the Knicks are playing back to back, so we have more coverage to do on the games. But yeah, anything else before we get out of here, Diva Locks?
No, I just want to watch the game. They're up 1933. And let's go, Dicks.
Yeah, let's go Knicks. Again, everybody have a blessed night, and we'll see everybody later. Until next time, peace.
Peace.